Hello, my name's Scott Perry. I'm a professional magician and this is a magic review.
It's a kind of magic.
In today's review, we're looking at Tarantula 2 by Yigal Mesika. The TLDR on this is that it's roughly $75 or £75. And if you're looking for a non-traditional IT device, it's not quite an IT reel. But if you're looking for a new IT device, then it's really good for what it does. There's not much else on the market that does something similar. So I do think it is a professional device at this price point of £75, $75, but it does what it says. It has a really good build quality. And like I said, if you're looking to do what this does, then I think it is a very good purchase. But let's get into a little bit more detail of what it does do. So what is it? Tarantula 2 is an improved version of the original Tarantula device by Yigal Mesika. Without giving too much away of what this is if you are familiar with a Swami gimmick, it's kind of similar to that. So you are able to show your hands like this, in this kind of movement, and they look empty, and then you can attach the IT to something and you can do a levitation. Or for things that are very, very light, so I've been levitating I have a ukulele, so I've been levitating a guitar pick over to my hand. So that's what it is. It's an IT reel that kind of sits in your hand, and you have the option to either bring very, very light objects like a banknote or a guitar pick over. You can like levitate them over to you, or from the floor up to your hand, or you can do certain levitations with it. You can also do routines like PK touches if you're familiar with that. But that's what Tarantula 2.0, that's what Tarantula 2 is. It's a interesting version of an IT rule built into something very similar to a Swami gimmick. What do you receive? Well, you receive this little box. Inside the box, you receive, if I can get it open, you receive the gimmick in here. So I'm covering this because it has the link to the instructions. So you receive the little gimmick in this area here. That's how big it is. So it's roughly, on my fingers, is roughly the size of 2/3 of my finger. And then you also receive, in the back compartment, you receive a charging cable, which is micro USB to USB. And that's how you charge the device. It does have to be charged. It does not work on replaceable batteries or anything like that. So the longer you leave it without charging, the weaker the IT reel gets. So if you are finding that it's not pulling the IT back fast enough or with enough tension, it's probably because your device is not charged up. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked by the details. This is not that part of the review. This is the part where I tell you what you receive. So that's what you receive in the box: a charging cable, the gimmick itself, and then also the link to the instructions. The instructions are very comprehensive. Just like all Yigal Mesika products, it comes with incredibly well-produced studio tutorials and performances and things like that. So Yigal Mesika produces some of the highest quality tutorial videos in the entire magic market. So there's nothing to be concerned of there. It's great quality from the gimmick itself to the instructions. How easy is it? It's pretty easy. So it's something that kind of sits in your hand, and perhaps you could use on an offbeat, or you could just put your hand in your pocket, and just as if you were to put on a tip, you would add it to your finger like that. So it occupies one finger. It's quite easy. You don't have to activate anything. So as soon as you pull the IT, it automatically, with the Yigal Mesika Soul technology, it automatically keeps tension on the IT, and you can just curl your finger a little bit more, and that kind of locks the IT in place. So you're left with this certain amount attached to something, or attached to yourself, your watch or something like that, so that you can do PK touches. And then as soon as you stop squeezing on the end of your finger, then the IT will be pulled back into place. So it's pretty easy to perform with. I would like to think that you would have a little bit of experience with IT before using Tarantula 2, but Yigal does teach you lots of ideas to utilize with Tarantula 2. So yes, on a scale of 1 to 5, I would say it's maybe a 3. It's like an intermediate. It's not too difficult. There's no sleight of hand, but there will be a little bit of audience management. There will be a little bit of perhaps thinking a little bit ahead of time. So yes, I would put it at a 3 out of 5, with 5 being very difficult, expert, and 1 being very simple, beginner. So yeah, I put it at a number 3 for difficulty. Reset time is instant, so as long as you have it on attached to your hand, then it is ready to go at a second's notice. So the reset time is very simple. If you want to ditch the device in your pocket, it will be ready to go as soon as you load it back onto your hand. So the reset time is very, very quick. We're talking 1 or 2 seconds, maybe 3 or 4 seconds if you have to put your hands in your pocket and get it attached to your hand properly. The angles are fantastic. So the device kind of sits in plain sight, and people can get a look at your hands. They can see kind of if someone stood here and you're levitating something, they can potentially look at your hand and there will be nothing to see. They probably won't notice anything. So the angles are very good. I would say probably 360 degrees. Yeah, there's not much more I can say about angles. It is what it is. You know, it's like a Swami gimmick that sits in your hands. You can flash your hands very briefly. You wouldn't want to keep your hands exposed for people to burn. But yeah, I would say that the angles are 360 degrees. There's very little to worry about in terms of that. Pocket space is very good. The device is very small. It can sit in any pocket from small to large. It could probably, to be honest, even sit inside the ticker pocket of a pair of jeans. You know how men have this little pocket in the top of jeans that's like a little pocket above the pocket. It could probably even fit in there, but don't quote me on that one. I don't want you to squeeze and break your gimmick. It is an expensive product. But the point is that it's very small and it will take up very little pocket space. My final thoughts on Tarantula are that, like I said in the TLDR, if you have a specific purpose of a single line of IT attaching to something, and like I say, it doesn't have to attach to something away from you. It could attach, if you have it in your hand, to your watch, and then you can do PK touches, or you can levitate something between your hands. There's a lot of different exploration that you can do in terms of IT tricks with this device. It's quite versatile. It has a lot of different things that you can explore, a lot of different ideas and methods that you can explore with it. Of course, in the tutorial, Yigal does teach you various magic tricks that you can perform with this, and he does take you through everything you need to know, from how to take care of it to the best conditions to perform in. And you know, Yigal Mesika is a true professional in the world of IT and magic. So there is that. The only other thing I want to talk about or mention in my final thoughts is that, as far as I can tell, it only comes in one color. So I would say that it's very close to my color of skin or skin tone. If you are very pale, or if you have tanned or darker skin, this isn't really going to work for you. I think if you have very dark skin and you're wearing this gimmick, I think people are going to see potentially the drastic difference in color from your own hands to the gimmick where it sits in your hand. So I do think that's an issue. It would be nice if there was another version. Like I say, I've had a look on the website and I can't see anything about a version for people with darker skin, but it would be nice if there was an option for that. Like I say, I do think it will be a bit obvious what the gimmick is, and it will be a lot more noticeable if you have darker skin. That's the only thing. Also, I do have a little bit of concern for any Magic product that uses electronics or batteries, because from my experience in Magic over the last 25 years, any product that uses batteries or uses electronics in any way that needs recharging, anything like that, eventually will break. We do not live in a world where batteries are everlasting, and we do not live in a world where electronic components are everlasting. They slowly degrade. If you live in humid climates, the humidity in the air and the water in the air can slowly corrode the gimmicks, the circuit boards and everything. And unfortunately, for £75 or $75, I think that's a lot to gamble on if you're just a hobbyist or a beginner. Like I said at the beginning, I do think this is a professional device and probably most suited for people who either earn lots of money and don't mind spending that amount of money on a gimmick, or are working magicians who get paid, hundreds of pounds per performance. Then I don't think this is expensive. But for an amateur, for a hobbyist, for a magic enthusiast, this is probably not going to work. I do think that anyone who puts the time into learning how to use Tarantula 2 will get a lot out of it. I do think it's fantastic. I just think that for the price and for also the fact that there's not a version for people with darker skin, it's somewhat limited in the group of people that it's targeted at that will be able to use it effectively. Because I'm sure, as you will know, IT is a very sensitive method or sensitive idea in Magic, principle in Magic for a lot of people. Some people steer well clear of any IT work. I think that there are times and places where it can be so magical to use some IT in a way that no other kind of magic, sleight of hand or otherwise, will achieve similar effects. I think that's pretty much it for my review of Tarantula 2. As always, if there's anything that you think I've missed off... Oh, also one final point. They do not sell this at yigalmesika.com, but if you go to the website yigalmesika.com, again, as with every video, all of the details will be in this video description below. If you go to that link in the video description, it will take you to Yigal's site, and if you go there and you click on Tarantula 2, it has a little button that you can click on that says where to buy, and then that will take you to a page with all of the countries that you can buy it in. And when you click on your country's flag, it will tell you which shops in that country or which shops that ship to that country stock this product, which I think is really good. That's a great way of, a great simple way of letting us know, the customers, the magicians who buy these products, let us know simply and directly where can we buy this. So yes, that's the final point. Like I was saying before I interrupted myself with where you can buy it, if you think I've missed anything off of this review, or if you have any specific questions about Tarantula 2, then leave it in a comment below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Like I always say, I am a professional magician. I do a lot of traveling, so it may be some hours or days or even weeks before I can get back to you, but I will try and get back to everyone who has a genuine question. That's it for Tarantula 2.0. Tarantula 2. I do recommend it. I think it's a great product. How long it will last because of the electrical components, I don't know. And also, one final tip is that any kind of electrical device in Magic that you purchase, most kinds of batteries need to be charged at least once every 3 months. Otherwise, the battery starts to degrade. So take that into mind. If you haven't used your gimmicks for a while, your electronics gimmicks, whatever they are, just once every month and a half or 2 months, just make sure you charge it up to capacity. Otherwise, the batteries degrade and they store less and less charge, which is very bad for performing, obviously. So that's another tip to keep in mind. We have finally arrived at the end of the review of Tarantula 2. Like I said, I recommend it. It's great. I'll see you in the next review. Also, leave a comment below. Let me know what you would like me to review next. If you have anything that you want reviewing specifically, yeah, leave it in a comment below. If I can afford to buy it, if it's not something that I already use or something that I would use or wouldn't use, then I will see if I can buy it in just for the purpose of reviewing, if it's something that a lot of people do want to be reviewed. So yes, I will see you in the next review.